What's going on? It's Justeeni here, and today we've got some more Guess the Elo. This time we've got Omaji versus Saimanti on a normal dry land. Let's just get right into things. So, right off the bat, exploration, technically here. Because it's dry lands, this is not actually optimal, because I've said this many times before, but I'll always say it when this happens. There's no villages here. Guaranteed. Guaranteed or your money back. It's drylands. That's not how villages spawn. So if you were to go here instead, you have one more opportunity of finding a village. In this case, you find the village anyway, but every little piece of optimization does add up. So it's always important to remember. And then there's the other village there. Okay, org pre-cap. Seems fine. Okay, workshop on capital. Then we go for workshop there, which is actually fine because then that lets us spam out 3 riders next turn. Explorer can work. It's unlikely to go to the center, but even just like the vision on the east can be good. And if you get the lighthouse, that's actually pretty decent as well, because then you can use this lighthouse and this and actually upgrade your capital. So it can actually like be pretty decent. Though, again, workshop is definitely fine. It's the safer option, I'd say. We decide to not get a rider here, which I feel like we should, because again, we can either send the rider to the lighthouse or we can send it up. It's just worth doing. I think that's the reason why workshop is justified there, is to get that rider out sooner. So I definitely would have done that. Get the rider going. And then here, train a rider here for sure, if nothing else. And again, like you can also train one here. You're gonna get roads pre-cap like 99 times out of 100 in this case. I don't see why you would ever go farming pre-cap. Actually, I see one reason to get like an early giant, but like I don't think an early giant against Saimanti makes any sense. And yeah, early giant is because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then the lighthouse is 8, 9, and we already have 2 population on the capital. But we can also use roads for a pretty similar effect. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, and use Grand Bazaar to also get a giant that way. So roads is just better. Oh, whoa! But we go for farming for some reason. I completely disagree. Again, like what is farming actually like doing here? We get 1, I guess 2 level 3 cities. I don't think that's worth it though. Like that's really expensive because it's going to take a very long time to pay off, and you don't get that big utility of like that roads normally have. So I definitely disagree with this. Roads is just I don't see the vision with farming here. Like I guess the giant is faster on your capital, but like again, this eco development's not worth it. We get an explorer in the middle. It's a pretty effective explorer. Gives us vision of Saimanti, which again, we didn't need farming to do, so I still think roads would have been better. And another big thing, this is something you should always consider with Omaji. Whenever you decide between farming and roads, one thing to consider is after you get farming and then you get roads, you're gonna have hanging population here, here, probably here as well when this gets to level 3, and here when this gets to level 3. And that hanging population is just gonna kind of do nothing. Like you could pair it up with a monument to get a giant here, but as for any other areas, I don't really see how that can be utilized all that well. So that's another reason against farming. That's always important to remember. Because I would say like your default should be roads. It's only when the situation calls for farming, that's when you should go farming. But when roads just work, then get roads. Don't bother with farming. Now, yeah, explore here, get that lighthouse, 100%. You can actually get Eye of God probably this game. If you get an explorer in these next 2 villages, you have to order it properly though. Be sure to get the explorer here and then here. Yeah, it looks like they're just gonna snag that. I am also noticing, once again, we are training barely any units, which is going to lead to stuff like this happening. And then, like, the big issue is not like the fact that they're taking. I mean, they took it, which sucks, and we also upgraded it for them. And we had the foresight to know they're right there. They even have climbing. They can get vision, no problem, by just moving this warrior up. Like, could we have moved that rider? No, it just captured. Why did we upgrade this to level 3 then? I don't get that at all. Train some units. Because we kind of just let that happen. We can explore from the ruins, which is actually amazing here, because again, we can actually get Eye of God. I don't believe we can get a second monument though, so we are just losing the city. 100% explore here. Yep, get the next lighthouse. We still need to get the one near our capital, but... Oh, we actually barely miss it. That's rough. We get the giant... What's the plan with the giant? Or the monument? Because one play I do see with the monument is putting it here and then getting a border growth, which... It's usually questionable to get border growth against Samanti because then they cloak spam you and you cry. But you do get a quick giant going, so it's justifiable. Still on the expensive side, so I'm not even 100% sure if that's the play. It's honestly really tough. Like, what do you do with the Park of Fortune? That's why I'm skeptical about like rushing a giant out like this. I'd rather just get more riders and roads, because what's this giant gonna do right now? You're gonna be like under a lot of pressure in these coming turns, and you'll have wished you had roads. Okay, I guess that's your plan for Park of Fortune. And another misplay here. We shouldn't be moving the giant first because this giant's going to get pushed. Unless we wanted to train a rider here, in which case it would make sense. But we didn't train a rider, and we moved the giant, which is kind of the worst of both worlds. Because if you keep the giant here, then it'll get pushed, and then it'll have another move, where it can either help defend or defend there, whatever you need. But instead, you only get one move out of the giant. You effectively just waste a push opportunity. Okay, so now we get roads. Again, we are lacking a lot on units, so I don't know if it was worth getting roads just to kill this one unit. Because they can unsiege both cities. I suppose we do... No, we don't even get the ruins, because this is only 5 HP. So this road play, I don't think is worth it. I'd rather train like 4 riders, or 5, we also include the capital. 5 riders is definitely better than getting 1 road right now, because we can just get roads later. Like, we're not capturing a city this turn, we're not doing anything like that. And yeah, we're just gonna step off, but then it's still a trade anyway. They're threatening to capture here. And if we already had a rider here, this would be no problem. Now, instead we would have to make, if I'm not mistaken, we have to make 2 roads like this, which is super awkward and kind of yucky, because those roads aren't like the best position for the long term. Like, obviously one of them is nice, but having like both feels a little icky. Like, you would just want the road here to reach both cities, but you have to make this other one, which kind of feels bad. But you have to do that if you want to kick them off. And you have to make another road to retreat the rider because of these forests. So this is really awful to deal with. And if we just trained a rider, all of that would have been avoided. Like, a big issue in our position is just a huge lack of units. Of course, Cymantia has the same exact issue. So this just seems like not the highest elo gameplay out there. Siege is definitely not the play. Kick them off the village. Although, again, I did mention it was expensive earlier, so maybe that's why they're sieging. Except it's not worth it. Like, this is a 2 out of 3 rider. It was 1 out of 3 before, but still. Build up some units. It's not really worth just giving them free kills. I don't think they're, like, veto-signing their hexapods, which it is actually worth veto-signing hexapods because they actually don't get one-shot, which is extremely nice for Cymanti. Because normally hexapods are actually quite mediocre because of that. Like, if you just spam riders, these hexapods are actually just not a threat at all. And this centipede's also not a threat at all. Like, the only time when hexapods are a problem is when you don't have units. Though, even then, Cymanti just doesn't... They're not in a position to punish. They go for the centipede siege there, which... I mean, it's okay, because you can escape away, which they should definitely do. Cymanti player, very smart, going for Ketons. That's always the play. Yeah, these are just well placed, and they might even be able to get this village. And yeah, this is quite bad for Omaji now, because these giants aren't doing much. We're severely lacking in units. Samantha actually takes this nice opportunity to just go for the siege, and this is actually unbreakable, or close to. It's very, very annoying to break because you have to send this rider and this rider and like everything nearby just to break the siege. And then they'll just get another centipede and do it all over again. Although you can actually get rid of the segment, I believe, because this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would have to go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you'd have to send this rider over. It would be incredibly expensive. You can defend, but it's so awful. This is 100% worth it for Saimanti. The Saimanti players, I think they didn't do enough unit spam early on, but they're kind of like getting their act together. They know to get Ketons. They're probably going to get cloaks at some point, although there's not really any high-level cities to target, but I feel like at some point that's going to come into play. So yeah, they're just giving up the city. It's not really all that worth on sieging. But again, the big issue here is where's the units? Was the plan no, we can't get Grand Bazaar. What is this road placement, by the way? When did this happen? Oh, good lord. This is a bad trade. Here's the thing, is we're placing 3 roads. Here's the thing, is not just we're placing 3 roads, but like, if we were to place 3 roads, which I completely disagree with either way, but if we are to place 3 roads, instead of placing it in this straight line, I'll tell you a few reasons why this is bad. Road guide coming out soon. I'm currently working on it, but little pointers here. This road, you were forced to place it here if you want to reach here. This is just unfortunate, but you have to. But then the second road, why place it here? Sorry. Why place it here when you can instead place it here? Because this is going to allow you to reach this area all the same, and this allows you to reach here. That's cool. Like, you can reach here with this road. That's not very useful though. I'd much rather be able to reach here and here and here with this road. These are not only just like, it's more spots opening up, but they're better spots too. And then the third road, same deal. We don't really want to place it here. Instead, what would be a lot better is to place it, there's really 2 spots that I think work here. You either place it, let me erase this. You either place it right, yeah, you're just watching me struggle using this. You can either place it here, where it connects, and it can connect here, like this. Or you can place it here and connect like this, which they both have their own utilities. This one, I'd say like these road placements to connect are better, so it helps with connecting more. And then this one helps for actually reaching this ruins specifically more easily. So it's just kind of like pick whatever makes the most sense here, which I would say probably going for the ruins, because you already have this road here like this. So yeah, that was a very long tangent. All to say, do not do this. This is very ugly looking, and it's also just inefficient in general. And it's just a bad idea on top. Like, all that to say also, like, this is also just a bad idea. 9 stars to kill the hexapod that wasn't even doing anything. And then yeah, this rider also cannot retreat. That's an even trade. That's not even like you're taking out the hexapod for free. It's an even trade. Because this rider doesn't have anywhere to go unless you place another road, and then you can retreat it just out of range. But like, that's horrible. Like, and guess what? You could have made more units. And yeah, you're extremely lacking in units here. I think your position would have been like pretty good. Like, I mean, there's a ton of mistakes. Like, when you lost this city, I think it was gonna be a bit tricky to play there, but you definitely still had lots of options because you were ahead in development compared to Saimanti. But like there are also many mistakes in the opening here. Basically, all to say, you had a lot of opportunities to do things, and a lot of opportunities were missed. Lots of misplays, both micro and macro. But I mean, it's guess the elo. What's guess the elo without misplays? Like, you guys send me these games either because you want to show off how good you are, or you actually want to like learn or something or whatever. Kind of nerdy, not gonna lie. Imagine learning. But yeah, I'd say the biggest thing: make more units. What's your elo? I'm gonna say your elo is like 1250 maybe. Again, farming's a really bad opening, and just the consistent lack of units throughout the game was a pretty big theme. That's very much like not very high elo, and the road placements were very subpar. Like all of those qualities, like when you're playing on dry lands, you're not going to get very high elo with this kind of gameplay. So I'm suspecting 1250. Okay, I am. Whoa, 1500. I mean, I have not played dry lands in a random multiplayer matches in a while. Is the bar that low now? Jeez. Okay, on to the next game then. All right, so this one, I believe it is Dan Marino playing this one. I think that's what it said in the forum. But yeah, we've got a Tiny Conti, which I don't see Tiny Conti a whole lot, and I especially don't see Sim Mira on Tiny Conti. This does not look to be like some funny bullet match because the other person played their turn 0. This is very interesting. Like, was this like actually just a random match? Very interesting. But yeah, opening makes sense. Go for that lighthouse for sure. Yeah. Maybe train a warrior first. I'm actually not sure. They're gonna go for the lighthouse right away, so then they can upgrade, and then probably what? Hunting. I mean, you're probably getting a centipede here, but make a warrior. Again, if there's a land connection at all, and they go hexapods, or like an early centipede, like that's kind of just it. And a big thing also, like this is a huge tell with elo, is buying techs when you're not planning on using them. Like they bought hunting and forestry. Could you tell by looking at this, like without looking at the tech tree, could you actually tell that they bought hunting and forestry? No, you could not tell, because why would they buy those techs? They haven't even captured a city. It would make 0 sense to buy hunting and forestry. The only giveaway that they've been buying any techs is the fact that they're, oh my goodness, that was like the worst color to use. They're extremely low on stars. That's all that buying techs has done for them so far, which I know they will do something, but buy the techs when they will do something. They're not doing anything right now. In fact, like we actually just straight up wasted stars getting forestry. Hunting alone gets us a centipede here. So we just completely wasted 6 stars and actively slowed ourselves down. Again, this is a very, very common beginner mistake. Do not buy techs until you are going to use them, unless you're like about to capture a city. But even then, like if you're buying a tech before you capture a city, you'd better be using that tech soon. Like as in the next turn. Otherwise, don't even bother buying it. I know it's gonna get more expensive, but it's much better to buy a tech like 2 turns later and it costs like 2 or 3 more stars rather than buying it before you capture, but then just being stuck there with no stars and no development and no units and basically nothing. But yeah, we capture this. I don't actually know about upgrading. I think I would have used the fungi just because we need to get these fungi going as fast as possible. What we probably should have done is, because we have forestry, is we can actually get one of these, then we can chop 2 forests. We can chop 1 here just fine because we're going to use Park of Fortune and 1 animal. So we could even actually chop both here because we would have to harvest that animal. So yeah, just harvest this, chop, fungi. And then that levels up, gets the fungi going and our economy going at the same time. Always remember, when you get forestry, utilize those chops. They are okay. Whoa. No, that is bad. No. This border growth is not good because we're not even getting an extra centipede. we're spending a lot of stars to do this, and we're gonna have to spend 6 more plus the Park of Fortune anyway, which we would have had to do, but we're spending 9 more stars because we have to get, well, what do you know, 3 more population. If only we got a pop growth. That's why pop growth is generally better. Again, is it always better? No, but it should be your default. You should default to pop growth because more often than not, it's going to be a safe and reliable, and more often than not is going to be the better choice. Border growth, it requires a lot of thought and a lot of calculation, and it's very, very like tricky, very context dependent to actually see if border growth works. It highly depends on what kind of strategy you're doing. But like if you're just starting out, you're just a beginner, you don't know all that complex strategy stuff, pick pop growth. It'll save you so many games. And it'll build some good habits, actually. Pop growth is a great habit to have. Like, to default to pop growth is a very good thing. And again, we're buying archery. What are we doing with archery? Okay, we meet the opponent. We should probably be getting some units. I know we're most certainly alone on this continent, but yeah. That's also why I don't recommend playing continents when you're starting out, because it doesn't teach you how to make units. It teaches you, like, okay, how to develop eco, but not much more than that. Other map types also teach that, but Conti doesn't. You kind of just get rewarded for playing passively. We also send this here, which we just saw a hexapod there, so that's just gonna die. I don't think that's a good idea. Also, is this worth getting right now? It costs 3 extra stars to get it right now, and what are we doing with the centipede? We're not using the Park of Fortune, we're not doing anything like that. We're just kind of getting it. In fact, I don't even know if we would want a centipede. Like, maybe we get like a park, but even then that's only 2 star per turn that we spend 3 stars getting. So like, yeah. And like the reason why you might consider park here is because like, it's gonna take a long time for anything to happen. You probably want to spam Raichis, maybe even Dumux, maybe Cloaks. Centipede's fine though. Like, by no means a bad decision here. These algae are going to be very nice. The opponent is just giving you free stuff. They just gave you free algae right there. Also, did we just forget to use our... Yeah, we had 6 stars. We could have done that. Could have gotten another centipede. Okay, surely we use Park of Fortune now. It is just a centipede. Just no ifs, ands, or buts. It is a centipede. No. Okay. All right. I'm not expecting... Whoa! I was gonna say, I'm not expecting them to see this play, but you actually want to hit this and then use the centipede so you make an algae, because you're gonna use that to travel towards them. They actually did that. I'm very surprised. They didn't place their Park of Fortune to get a centipede that's just right there, but they did find this play. Maybe it's a lot easier than I'm giving credit for. Math here, Exeter. I mean, like, you already bought math, so like, you might as well use it, but this Exeter, I guess it's okay. It controls an area. It's not like the opponent can actually punish. Like, they can get a Faichi and hit it, but what's that gonna do? Yeah, this is just gonna kind of chill there and... Ooh, I was gonna say, that was a good explosion, so you could siege. You kind of missed the siege, though. Because what you should do here is this Exeter can just take out this boosted hexapod. You can send this Faichi. I believe only 1 Faichi plus a 19 HP centipede does the job. Because this will, it'll deal 1 damage and poison. This normally deals a pretty good amount of damage already. If 1 doesn't, which it might not, I'm actually not 100% sure. But I think 1 does, but you have a second one anyway, like just in case. But you can just siege. You can also siege this if you really wanted, but like this is a really juicy siege. It's a workshopped city, and it's killing one of their units too, and it's gaining a segment. Like, why not? Moving this Exeter here is not a good idea. It's kind of running into trouble. We have not used any monument. Okay, hold on. Now I can actually check. Oh, it only deals 12. That means we need another Faichi, which we can do here. Again. Siege is a city. Because, like, you win the game by, like, capturing a capital, and usually capturing cities in general is good. If you can get an unbreakable siege, do it. Oh, I guess that's Oh! Oh no. Saimanti shenanigans. I mean, we should be able to tell that there is a shaman here. The big giveaway is the fact that they send a boosted Faichi here. So this is kind of a case of just not paying attention to your surroundings. Because we see a boosted Faichi come from this side of the map. Where's their shaman? Yeah, it's there. We will be able to kill this shaman, I believe. So there is that plus side. We do donate them a centipede. Maybe it's actually worth it. We also like deny income. I don't know. The opponent doesn't have like any centipedes themselves. We have a backup centipede. So we probably still win. I don't think it was worth going for the siege because we could have just like won a different city. Hydrology. I mean, we already have an algae bridge, but I guess we have a ton of stars anyway, so I guess why not? Oh, okay. We're gonna do that. That's fine. Fishing. Wait, why did we get fishing after capturing and then not use it? Oh, this might be a live game and live game shenanigans. Possible time pressure. Oh my goodness! Again, siege. It's right there. When you can unbreakably siege a city, it's generally a good play. Like, what are you gonna use your centipede for other than trying to make some really nasty siege? Because like in this position, they're just gonna like nom on your segments and call it a day. Strategy here. I mean, do we need strategy? Like, yeah, we get the Keton. I don't really think it does all that much. I guess we can go into like Diplo maybe. Because boosted cloak. Well, this doesn't reach in one turn because it needs to cloak itself, but I don't know. Alright, so we're just gonna defend. We're like up a full city. We should be totally winning here. We even have our shaman and the opponent doesn't. Border growth. And this one gets a Clathrus spot, but we're also not close to trade, so I still would rather just get a centipede, honestly. Like, that's the thing with like border growth. Like, there are some contextual reasons why it might be okay to get a border growth, but like even despite the fact that, yeah, you get a good Clathrus spot, well, you actually already have one here, so like, what does this border growth actually accomplish? It makes your centipede now 9 stars more expensive. That's what it accomplishes. So it was pretty much just bad, basically, is what I'm saying. Border growth is usually like that. It usually doesn't actually help you much. It usually just is inefficient and only slows you down. They can explode and they can kill your shaman. I think I don't really care to look too deep into these decisions. I feel like this is like 1100 ELO gameplay. So like, yeah, they missed some things. That I think that's to be expected. That's how ELO works generally. Usually, like, yeah, it's still there. Maybe they'll see it, maybe they won't. There's Dumux. Did we buy roads at some point? Okay, they actually just donate the centipede. Gonna unsiege. Gonna do all that. Surely we get diplomacy at some point because these cities are so just. I mean, that's a pretty common thing in the same anti-mirror, right? Like, strategy diplo is always very good because the ketones are super good into hexapods, and then cloaks are super good against Saimanti cities because they're always so tall. And this is really no exception. But we haven't really been. We get meditation, which that's okay. We can go into Philo to like boost Faichi more easily, or hexapods over there, but that's not really an issue we have. So I guess meditation's not a good ruins result. I mean, again, we're completely winning anyway, and I guess the opponent's just hoping something really silly happens, which in a Saimanti mirror anything can happen. So it's not unreasonable for the opponent to try and stick it out. Okay, I was gonna say, like, we bought roads a while ago. We're finally gonna use it though. And then we're gonna get a bunch of hanging population, which, no bueno. Yeah, this is, it's some gameplay of all time. Yep, we finally win. Woo. That was a very long, drawn-out game. Oh, yeah. I'm just gonna say 1100. I don't even know about 1100. Like, yeah, let's say 1100. Like, the macro was far from optimal. I think that's an understatement. But there were some moments that were actually pretty good. So I don't think this is like full on 1000 or below 1000. Like, it wasn't like completely the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, and especially like Cymanti Mirror. Cymanti Mirror is very, very difficult to play. I know like a lot of people say, oh, Cymanti's no skill. Like, the Cymanti Mirror is anything but no skill. Like, you have like funny, like overpowered like Shaman and Funke. Well, the opponent has it too. It kind of evens out and things get very, very tactical. And there are actually some good tactics. So, 1100. That is not a, wow. That is not 1100. Okay, I've been quite a bit off with these guesses today. And this episode has gone on for very long. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub. And have a good one.